I'm Indira Gesink. I'm professor of history here at Baldwin University, and I wrote a book on John Baldwin called Barefoot Millionaire, which is about John Baldwin and his values and how he came to found this institution. And I love John Baldwin because he had absolute commitment to his ideals and a real transformative vision of what education was for. So John Baldwin originally came here to Berea from Connecticut. His family had fought in the First Revolutionary War, his family had fought in the Revolutionary War and had been given lands in the Western Reserve. And so he came out here with his wife and claimed some of those lands for a farm. And when he was farming, he came across stone in the creek that ran by his farm, which we now call Baldwin Creek, and also in the Rocky River, which had sandstone that was just the right grit for making grindstones. And so he began to make these grindstones and marketed them locally and was so successful at doing that that he began to develop a business that was international in its scope. So at one point he was marketing something like 85% of the world's grindstones and was also cutting stone for building that was eventually used in buildings like the Canadian Parliament and things like that. So he had a significant fortune from the grindstone business. And he was also a Methodist lay preacher. And at that time, the Methodists were teaching that the main problem in our society was slavery, which John Baldwin interpreted really broadly to mean slavery, American chattel slavery as it was practiced in the South, and also slavery of the body to temptations and to things like alcohol and drugs, enslavement of the mind to doctrine so that people were not thinking for themselves but were being told by various religions to think in a particular way. And he felt that the main solution to the problem of slavery was education. So he founded a school that originally was the Baldwin Institute in 1846. He founded it in 1845. It opened in 1846, which was dedicated to the abolition of slavery in all of its various forms. So it was teaching political strategies for liberating the slaves. It was teaching independent thinking so that people would be free from the control of the church, free to think for themselves, free to think in liberationist contexts. He was also teaching about wellness and about freedom from alcoholism and drug addiction and things like that. So it was really a transformative vision of education. And furthermore, he believed that education should be available to everybody. So at that time, only white, wealthy males typically went to college. And he was teaching that this school should be open to everybody, that it should be open to women, that it should be open to men, that it should be open to white students, and it should be open to African American students, and it should be open to Native Americans, and it should be open furthermore to anybody who couldn't even afford it. So the school, when it first opened, had students who were women. Within a couple of years, it had a Native American student. Within a couple of years after that, a freed slave traveled up from Louisiana to go to school here. And furthermore, the education was free. It was paid for by donations from the community, and certainly by donations from John Baldwin from his significant quarry business. So in addition to that, John Baldwin founded 6 other schools. We were not alone. There was a school in India, there was a school in Kansas, a school in Louisiana, founded on the same principles. So he was trying to create this network of transformative education that I'm really proud to be a part of. And that's why I love John Baldwin.